Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Sean Arnold and welcome to another episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! Online Ranked Duels for Legacy of the Duelist. Today I am going to be testing out a bit more of my Gravekeepers deck, and I am playing against Kieran Wings. I've never played against Kieran Wings before, but I wanted to upload this duel because Kieran Wings is playing a Nekroz deck, as you can see on screen here. Now, to be honest with you, I know Nekroz is considered to be a top tier deck, to be one of the best decks in the game, but I think Gravekeepers can do well against Nekroz if you can get to the key cards quite quickly. In fact, you know what, after playing this game for so many weeks, I'm kind of off the approach or the thought that if your deck can consistently run cards like Vanity's Emptiness, Fiendish Chain, and won't be hindered by it, your deck can kind of stand against pretty well as long as you're creative enough. But my opponent has opened up with a great move. He has Ritual Summoned Clauseless, and by Ritual Summoning Clauseless with Dijin, Protector of Rituals, he is preventing my monsters from special summoning, so I can't special summon anything to the field, which really sucks. And also his Magician here, the Dance Princess of the Nekroz, is protecting his monsters from being targeted or destroyed by card effects. A really solid opening turn. Most decks I think will find it hard to come back to this, but the great thing about Gravekeepers decks is that we don't rely on special summoning, we don't rely on being targeted by effects. We have other ways of dealing with threats like this. So my approach right now is going to be to try to just break down his little combo here piece by piece. So I've used Pot of Duality here to excavate the top 3 cards of my deck, and I am going to go for Necro Valley. The reason why, I looks like I'm still considering. I'm going to go for Necro Valley because I'm probably not sure about what to do right here. But I'm going to go for pick the damn card. Just pick it. Just pick the card. There we go, Necro Valley. And the reason why I'm going for Necro Valley here is, I chose to go for Necro Valley here, is because I know Nekroz rely a lot on using their graveyard to recycle tools. You know, they like to use their cards, send them off to the drop zone, sorry, not the drop zone, to the graveyard, that's a Vanguard term. They send them off to the graveyard and then like to bring them back from the graveyard to reuse them again and again. So what I've done here is I put Necro Valley on the field, and another great thing about Necro Valley is it powers up all Gravekeepers by 500, which allowed my Gravekeeper's Ascendant to destroy his Dance Princess with my 2000 attack. Now I've set a whole back row of cards here. I haven't got an option really to deal with Clauseless and get that off the field so I can start special summoning again, and that's kind of a little bit of a problem for me. If I do draw into Gravekeeper Spy, it's going to be completely useless, and usually Gravekeeper Spy is a great card for me to use, but we will see. So my opponent is just deciding on what to do here, and got 3 cards set up here. I've got Bottomless Trap Hole in case they summon, got Vanity's Emptiness to prevent any special summons, and I've also, I can't even remember what the third card I had there was, but it was pretty good too. Okay, so my opponent is summoning Senju. Senju of the Thousand Hands is a fantastic card for any ritual deck. I used to love that card back in the day, but now that he's popular, I hate him. I don't know what it is with me, I just don't like playing popular decks. And I'm trying to figure out if there's a way I can stop him, but there's no way I can stop him. Senju of the Thousand Hands, what happens when that card is normal summoned is you can add 1 ritual monster from your deck to your hand. Now mostly Nekroz, they just run nothing but ritual monsters in their deck. They hardly use any spells, they don't use any traps, they just use tons of ritual monsters. So that card, Senju, is really powerful for a Nekroz deck, and it's just that like you could just search out any card from your deck really. Now my opponent's using Raigeki, he's destroying all monsters on my field, which really sucks for me. I wasn't happy when I saw that because I really wanted to tribute to Gravekeeper Shaman the next turn. So now I have no monsters and my hand is stuck, or Shaman is stuck in my hand. Normally I actually prefer to summon Gravekeeper Shaman using Gravekeeper Spy effect, but I can't do that. So I'm just going to have to take the hit here, take 1400 damage, and just bear the grunt of these blows. But yeah, I still think Gravekeepers, have always remained consistent. I think they're still pretty good. I still think they can stand toe to toe in some cases with a lot of decks, although they're just not broken, so you can't get overpowered easily. Okay, so I'm going to put down Fiendish Chain here. Not really what I wanted. I really wanted something which was going to help me get rid of his monsters. Don't really have anything there right now, but Fiendish Chain might help later on. Okay, so my opponent's drawn a card. We'll see what they've got. I wonder if in a typical Nekroz deck, I wonder if they have anything which allows them to destroy spells or traps on the field. I don't know whether they have anything that they can discard and destroy spells or traps on the field, but hopefully I can avoid that. So Senju's attacked again. I can't do anything to stop his attack. I could have used Fiendish Chain, but there's no point of doing that right now. And now I've drawn into Mask Change 2. Mask Change 2 I really like as a tech card in Gravekeepers. I think it's a little bit of power for them, but I still can't use it. I still don't have a monster to put onto the field, which really sucks. So I'm probably going to have to take another hit again. At this point, I'm okay with taking hits, and I know my opponent isn't going to put Clauseless into attack because he's going to be scared of things like Mirror Force, which I do have face down in the field. So he's just going to keep on poking for damage as he is now, until he probably figures a way out to swarm the field and get rid of my back row and Necro Valley. So I'm down to 3800. Now, to the common eye, you might think I'm losing at this point because of 30 of my life points, and I am in a bad position. I'm not in as a good position as my opponent, but I'm still in a decent position to come back. It's not a losing battle. So my opponent discarded Bryonic, and he searched at Trishula. Trishula is a solid card for Nekroz, and if he manages to summon that, he's going to be able to get rid of a card from my hand, field, and graveyard. But fortunately, I've drawn into one of my trump cards, one of the best cards in the Gravekeeper's deck, and that's Royal Tribute. Royal Tribute works as follows. If you control Necro Valley, both players discard any monsters in their hand. Now, for me, that's not really too much of a problem, but for a Nekroz deck, that is absolutely awful for them. As you can see, my opponent had nothing but monsters in his hand and has lost 4 cards from his hand, which has put me in a very good position. And with Necro Valley locking out the graveyard, I'm in a very strong position here, and if I can just find a way to keep the pressure on, I should be able to capitalize and win this duel here. Okay, so my opponent has summoned out Manju. Manju is the better version of Senju. It can search out a ritual spell as well as a ritual monster. Same attack, but I'm going to stop that using Fiendish Chain, and that's going to negate that attack. His effect. So he's not searching out anything else. And now he's going to attack with Senju. This is fortunate, and at this point I think because it's going to be a +1 advantage in my favour, I will use Mirror Force and finally get rid of those 2 cards. Plus at this point I really need to keep my life points roughly about this number, otherwise I might run the risk of my opponent summoning 2 big monsters and destroying me, which is very easy in a Nekroz deck. Okay, so now I've got Pot of Duality. I really need to dig out a decent monster at this point here. What can I get? Gravekeeper Spy is not going to help me. I can't special summon at all. 2 copies of Gravekeeper Spy, that's really bad. I could stall, but that's not good. But I got Gravekeeper's Assailant. Fantastic, this is perfect. A lot of people don't like Gravekeeper's Assailant. A lot of people think it's a waste of a slot in a Gravekeeper's deck, but I think the effect is just too unique to pass up. The downside to Gravekeeper's Assailant is that you can only use its effect while Necro Valley is on the field. But how it works is as follows. You attack with Gravekeeper's Assailant, and when you attack, you can activate the effect, and you can choose one monster on the opponent's side of the field and change its battle position. So I've turned Clauseless into attack. That's exposed his weak 1200 attack, and now Gravekeeper's Assailant will be able to destroy that with ease. With that being said and that being done, I am now able to special summon again and start using cards like Mask Change 2. So I'm in a really good position here. My opponent has just drawn 1 card. One thing with Nekroz decks, if your opponent only has 1 card, they're not going to really be able to do much to you. So you've got to be I'm in a really good position right now. So he's not able to do anything with Necro Valley out, plus that only 1 card in his hand. So what am I going to do here now? Right now I'm going to, well, I think now's time to apply the pressure, so I'm just going to check my deck for what Masked Heroes I have. I'm looking at Masked Hero Dark Law, and and I'm looking at Mouse Hero and Key just to confirm what their effects are, but Dark Claw is going to be my main target here. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to summon Dark Claw straight away. I'm going to attack with Gravekeeper's Assailant, and that's going to deal 2,000 damage to my opponent, bringing them down to 4,800. Now in my battle phase, I'm going to play Mask Change 2. Mask Change 2 requires me to discard a card from my hand, so unfortunately I'm going to get rid of U-Spy, and now I'm going to lose my Gravekeeper's Assailant. By sending my Gravekeeper's Assailant to the graveyard, I can now special summon Master Hero Dark Claw. Master Hero Dark Claw is going to be great here. It's going to really put pressure against this Nekroz deck because of its 2 effects. Master Hero's Dark Claw's first effect is that any card sent to my opponent's graveyard is banished. So if my opponent loses any cards or tributes any cards from any of their ritual effects, they're going to get banished. They're not going to be able to manipulate their graveyard as much as possible. Also, he has a second effect. If I remember correctly, I'm going to get to be able to show that off in a second. I'm pretty sure I get to use it just any second now, so I'm just going to hold off and wait to see what my opponent does. I might be mixing my memory up with another duel here, but yeah, my opponent's thinking, so I'm just going to say what it does. What Dark Claw does is if my opponent adds a card from their deck to their hand, Dark Claw can kick in and banish 1 random card from their hand. Now my opponent's thinking, taking their time, trying to decide what to do, and yes, that's what I thought they were going to do. They are going to play Preparation of Rites. Preparation of Rites is usually a good card for a Nekroz deck. What it does is it allows them to add 1 level 7 or lower ritual monster from their deck to their hand, then 1 ritual spell from their graveyard to their hand. But fortunately, I'm going to be able to play Master Hero Dark Claw's effect, and as I said, 1 random card from their hand is now going to get banished, and it looks like I managed to hit that Nekroz monster they just searched out. So my opponent really doesn't have an option here at this point. It's pretty much all my game from here, and I think my opponent's just going to switch over now to the last turn. So I'm going to tell you what's going to happen in the rest of this turn. I'm going to attack and I'm going to win. So really, I think this was a really good duel just to show off a bit more. I am thinking back to my Gravekeepers videos in the past. I don't know if I've really been able to show them off against more competitive decks, but there's Gravekeepers playing against Nekroz. So hopefully that's been helpful to some of you guys, and if so, just send me a message down in the comments down below. Thank you for watching as always. Much love, take care, and goodbye.